This episode of Simone Love's Hour is sponsored by TDS Accounting and Tax Services, where we provide a wide range of services. We provide accounting services tailored to your specific business needs. We also provide personal and business tax services. So give us a call today at 202-299-4082. Again, 202-299-4082 to set up an appointment today.
I'm Simone Love, and after my son was sentenced to life plus 527 years, I took on some of the guilt for his predicament, which I portray in this next release titled Sorry, available now on most streaming networks.
I'm so sorry.
Do you like action, adventure, and romance? Good. My name is Rodney A. Nobles. I am the author of the Drifter book series. The series is about a prominent black professional named Max Cordell. He was a high-profile lawyer and world karate champion who owned 2 karate schools. He was falsely accused of having relations with a teenage student. He was stripped of his law license, his school was shut down, and he was thrown into prison. After spending nearly 2 years in prison, the teenage girl admitted it was all a lie. Max Cordell left prison a scarred man. Although he wanted nothing else to do with humanity, he couldn't turn his back on people who were being oppressed by bad people. He used his martial arts skills and his legendary sword to help people, and then he would move on. The people began calling him the Drifter. The book series can be purchased from my website, www.rodneyanobles.com. Thank you.
Hello, and welcome to Simone Love's Reality Radio, where we'll be hearing uncut, uncensored conversations about prison love, mental health, addiction, wrongful convictions, and much, much more. I'm your host, Simone Love. Thank you for tuning in, and please enjoy the show.
Listen up, listen in, listen in. Tell your mom, tell a friend, tuna man. Listen up, listen in, listen in. Tell your mom, tell a friend, tuna man. Love, 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 love. The Simone Love Show. Love, 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 love. The Simone Love Show.
My son has been incarcerated for over a decade now, after being sentenced to 12 life terms for a non-life-taking crime. This journey, our journey, and our quest for his freedom through activism and criminal justice reform, I've come across numerous inmates. Since they face seclusion from the world, we decided to start recording our calls. Most times, we forget the recording is on, and this is how we created Simone Love's Reality Radio, Dead from Society, Alive for Profit, Voices of the Incarcerated. Today, we will be speaking with Mr. Josh Davis, who was incarcerated in a facility in North Carolina. He's going to share with us the details of the day that he was stabbed 7 different times by several different inmates. And although it may be a little difficult to understand everything that Josh is saying because of the recording, he's going to share with us the fact that a guard may have been responsible for this incident. And later on, we'll be speaking to Josh's mother, Regina Davis, and who's going to share with us how she felt the day she found out her son was seriously injured. Yeah, I'm glad you're okay. People crazy, boy.
She was telling me something about like
like, yo, son, I'm mad because they charged me with a prison charge. Like, I stabbed them.
Oh, but they reversed that, or
She
did
was
they?
saying, like, how they do that. And it ended up getting dismissed or something like that. I think she said my cousin locked up. He did a bunch of time. They did that to him or something, but I'm mad. Like, I get charged with something that happened to me. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, that guard sound like he tried to set you up. She was telling me.
Yeah, he did. When the state investigator's officer came out, I let him know. I told him, like, yeah, CO set it up. I think.
Yeah, she said he made that comment to you, and then as soon as he came back on shift is when it went down again, right?
Yeah.
That is crazy. So did you pass out or anything?
Or
you don't remember?
Pretty much. I lost so much blood that I couldn't walk no more. And I wouldn't say lost consciousness, but lost the ability to walk.
So did you end up shutting the door to get away from him, or did a guard finally come in, or what had happened?
Nah, the guard never came in. I won't in my cell. I was in the block, and a dude went over there in my room. I went over there to the room, like, bro, like, you standing in my doorway, was you alright? He's like, yeah, you right. I'm like, bro, like, you alright? He like, I'll blow shit, bro. He had a trash can and like a t-shirt in a trash can. So he reached in the t-shirt and I stole him. I hit him with like a 3-piece, dropped him. His homeboys ran over there and they all had knives. So they tried to put me in like a little circle. I closed my room door because the room door locked when you close it. So I closed it and ran out the circle. And they chased me and basically stopped me and stabbed me in the back. They stabbed me 7 times. One of them hit my lung. And so it punctured my lung. My lung collapsed. They put me in the helicopter, sent me to the hospital. Did like an emergency surgery to put a tube in my chest to get the blood from around my lung. And they gave me a blood infusion too to give me some more blood. I lost a bunch of blood.
Wow.
That's about it. It showed me up.
Wow.
I stayed in the hospital like 4 days. I've been here about 4 days. I'm at like another hospital. I'm at the prison I was at before, but they got a hospital at the prison. So I'm at the hospital part of the prison.
So when you was in the circle, you said they surrounded you, and you got out, and that's when you went into your room and was able to shut the door. That's how you got away from them, or how did you get away from them?
Everything happened in front of my cell. Well, not everything happened. It started in front of my cell. When I closed my door, I really just closed my door just so my door wouldn't be open. So I pushed my door closed, and they were trying to close. I was about to, because one dude was trying to square up. The biggest dude was trying to square up. So I was about to square up with him, but his homeboys were trying to put me in a circle. So before the circle closed, before they could get me in the whole circle, I ran out the circle. And they chased me down and stabbed me. Like, after I got stabbed, they just got up after a while and stopping me and stabbing. They just got up, I guess, because they hit me at. They thought it was through there. Like, yeah, he probably won't make it. And they just got up. They're like, yeah, that's good. So they got up and walked off.
Wow.
So I got up and started banging on the glass to get the COs, talk to the COs. I had a whole fight with one dude that ran around the block and got stomped by like 7 dudes and stabbed in the middle of the block, up at the front of the block at that. My cell was the first cell. And the COs never came in there, didn't see that, and they just nowhere to be found. So even when I banged on the door, try to get out the block to let them know, like, I'm bleeding. Like, I need this sold up fast or I'm going to die.
Wow.
Even after that, they still didn't come to the door. Like, they were like, it took a while to get to the door, and even when they got to the door, they're like, what? Like, I ain't opening that door type thing. Like, I'm like, man, open the door. Open the door now. Like, I'm bleeding bad. Like, I need a hospital or a doctor right now. I thought they hit me in the heart, but they hit me in the lung. I knew they hit me in the organ, though.
You could tell. Wow.
Yeah, I could tell the way I was bleeding. My shoes was filled with blood. Wow. I was bleeding everywhere. It's a lot of blood. So, yeah, I could feel it. Like, I could feel it in my chest. Like, yeah, they hit something.
Unbelievable.
Like, you see where they stabbed me at. Like, I always thought that's where your heart was at, but it's really where your lung at. Like, it's kind of like up under. You got to lift your arm up to get to where they was at, where I got stabbed at.
Oh, really? Like on the side?
Yeah, on the side. Yep, right on the side. Yep.
On the left-hand side?
On the upper left side. Like,
wow.
Or a girl breast that if you reach to the side, like up under the armpit. Basically, you put your hand up under your armpit.
Mm-hmm.
Around, like, I guess, right in the middle where your hand would be, or towards the bottom of your hand.
Right. So what, that officer, was he one that responded to you? The one that made the comment?
That was what?
The one that made that comment was...
Oh, yeah, it was, I think it was the same shift, but he wasn't up there at the time.
Oh, he wasn't there.
He said that like 2 days before that. He was like, yeah, you gonna get blown. He's like, you want to check on now? Yeah, you won't be in there like 6 more hours before I leave today. For my shift over in 6 hours, yeah, you be up out of there, you gonna get blown. I'm like, what?
What would he?
I'm really tripping, bro. Like,
what would a guard say that to you for? That's crazy. I can't imagine he was trying to help you.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
Like exactly. He was like ha.
He either sent it, like, we had already had words over my trades and my peanut butter, so, like, I guess he was on some, like, I could send a hit type thing, you know what I'm saying? Like, we already on seeing how to act because he's mad that he might have to do some work and go fix my trade. So I'm like, bro, that's your job, bro. Like, I'm not asking you to do nothing extra. I ain't asking you to do nothing you aren't supposed to be doing anyway, you know what I'm saying? And he was trying to make it seem like, he even said, like, oh yeah, you oppressing me, I can oppress you. I can come in there and do this. I can write you up for this, write you up for that. I can come in there and sit in the block. He actually came in there and sat in the middle of the block for like 3 minutes. Everybody else looking like, see what you're doing? Like, yeah, somebody want me to do my job. I'm just in here doing my job. I'm just going to sit in here for 3 minutes. Like, what? I tell him, like, man, look, I asked you to go fix my tray. That ain't got nothing to do with coming in here and sitting in the block. Like, I don't know.
That's some really, weird.
Real tripping. He did a whole bunch. That's what I know for a fact. He the one who set it up. He said it before it happened, for one. And
right.
So obviously he either set it up or knew about it. Then for two, he was the only one that had a problem with it. He was the only person. I hadn't had no problem with any inmates, or I already talked to them anyway. Like,
right.
I never had an altercation with an inmate. Never had words. Like, I don't deal with them like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right. But they know they got cameras in there. I'm just like, what would possess you?
Yeah, everything happened on camera. We was in the middle of the block, up at the front of the block, like right on camera. Like, when the investigative officers came in here, they had pictures of everybody that was involved. They know more than I know, because my back was turned towards them, and so I ain't really see everybody who was involved, because I'm really running, trying to get away from the dudes that I know it was at least like 4 or 5 of them.
Right,
but
right.
When they came with a stack of people who was involved, the investigators had like more like they had more pictures than who I knew was involved. So obviously they had the camera footage. Obviously they know more than me. The way they read the story was exactly how it happened too. So yeah, the cameras caught everything. They when they read the story, I'm like, man, they know everything. Like, exactly how it happened, exactly how they read the story. The only thing is they were saying that the dude, they tried to make it seem like I just beat up the dude with the trash can. They're like, yeah, he was in my cell with a trash can, and I just stole off on him.
Right.
I'm like,
who does that?
I'm like, that don't even make sense because he was standing halfway inside my cell. Like, he was inside my cell, you know what I'm saying? He was just at the door.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, they threw the inside my cell to start with. Y'all making it seem like I just stole off on him, but anyway.
Right. How's your breathing? You sound, are you having problems breathing?
It's like, I say it's like at 50%. I can't breathe like deeply, but as far as like normal breathing, like, I'm good. I ain't able to breathe like regularly. But if I was gonna take a deep breath, like if I was gonna yawn, I can't yawn, I can't sneeze.
Oh, wow. So they
I'm finding out that going to the bathroom more difficult than it would be otherwise.
So they just
stuff like that. I can't like walk a long distance. Can't really move that side of my body. Pain. I heard waiting on some pain meds. Man, I told them bring my pain meds about 30 minutes ago. This tablet about to go dead too. So if it hang up, then it was a tablet that went dead.
Okay. So you like in the hospital
I
portion
was
of the...
finish this phone call before it go dead though.
You in the infirmary?
Yeah, but yeah, I'm in like a hospital floor now, a hospital room. Got a butt in the coffin bed, got a sink, a shower.
Oh,
okay.
Okay.
Got a hospital bed I'm sitting on. I got a wheelchair to roll around in if I'm going like a longer distance. Or I guess might push me to my arm, like my left arm. I can't lift it a certain amount.
Right.
Without it hurting or like that. Basically, it's just my left side. Okay. Everything else, my legs, my right side, head, neck. I can move all of that. Just the left side all. Passed out 6 times.
I know your mom
7 times. 6 of them was on my left side.
Yeah, when I was on the tablet today, I saw you green. I called your mom immediately. She was like, he is.
Oh, yeah, she told me. I said, she was like, yeah, she's young. I was like, yeah, she was. She was good.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
I was like, gosh. I said, Josh is green. He is. That was like the moment of the morning. Yeah, I'm so glad you're doing okay, though.
Yeah, I'm good now.
Mom, well, you know, you already know your mom.
I'm almost positive I'll make a full recovery. It's going to take a little time to get that right. So my mom will be like 50 Cent and get rich or die trying. Like, I'm bounce back better.
Yeah.
Start exercising and get, you know.
We gotta
get you have 30 seconds remaining.
I was telling her all hands on deck with reading over your transcript so we can put all our brains together and figure something out because we got to get you up out of there.
Yeah, so I'm hoping I get my property sometime. So I had a lot of law work that I had did and I'm looking at law journal, pulling stuff out. The phone about to hang up. Appreciate your concern and your love. Send this way. I'll try to holler at you another time.
Okay. Stay safe and get better soon.
This is a prepaid call from
Rashid Harris,
an inmate at the County Correctional Facility. All phone calls are subject to recording and monitoring. To decline this call, press 9 now, and to accept this call, press 1 now. Thank you. Your call has been accepted.
Hold on, Bob. Hold on. Start over for me. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go.
Baby boy to a queen, you gave me life all the way to 13. Pressure me to do right, hard-headed ways got me caught up in the fight. Old memories. unconditional love. Come give me a hug. When I come and resort, you my backbone. You show me love and support. Can you ever forgive me for the wrong choices I made? Days we cried, days you made better than others. Days we prayed to better each other. Days I came just to give a kiss to my mother. Today's the day I get forgiveness from others.
Baby boy, baby boy, baby boy, baby boy, baby boy, baby boy, baby boy.
It's plenty of ways you can learn from one another. Even without a father, you still taught me how to love, respect, and be loyal to my woman. When my heart got broke, you was there when no woman wouldn't. Give me a shoulder to lean on, patted my back. Then you spoke on how everything gon' be alright. Turn my brother to a smile, how it shines so bright. Even in my darkest days, how the sun shines so bright. Even so, your sun grew to shine so bright. I try to bully the streets, what's your life like? It took me to get life to see what life is like.
Baby boy, baby boy, ooh, baby boy, baby boy, baby boy, baby boy, ooh, baby
You my
boy,
backbone, you show me love and support. Can you ever forgive me for the wrong choices I made?
baby boy,
Days we cried, days you made better than others. Just to give a kiss to my mother. Today's the day I get forgiveness from others. I got called back.
All right, we are back here with Miss Regina Davis. How are you, ma'am?
Hi, I'm fine. How are you, Simone?
Good. We just listened to your son Josh telling us about the incident where he was stabbed multiple times at the prison in North Carolina. And what was the name of the prison again?
Scotland Correctional in Laurinburg, North Carolina.
Okay. So I remember back in the summer, can't remember, was it June when this happened?
June or July. I had the exact date though. It was like the 10th of the month.
Okay. So I remember we was on the phone and you knew something happened. I mean, it was like we was on the phone like what, 5 a.m?
Yeah,
and
something like that.
You knew something happened, but you wasn't too sure. So tell me, when you did find out what happened, what information were you given?
Well, I wasn't given any information by the prison staff. I knew my son's routine, and when I didn't hear from him, I knew something happened because he had mailed me a letter to tell me what was going on. So I knew something was wrong. I called around for maybe 30 hours or so looking for my son, and I finally reached someone who told me that he had been stabbed and sent to emergency surgery.
So how many days was it that you haven't heard from him before you finally found out what had happened?
It was probably about a day and a half or 2 days. Because the first day was just like, hey, maybe they're on lockdown or something. I knew they were supposed to have been locked down, but they wasn't going to be locked down for that long. So, a few hours. And then when I didn't hear from him by like the next day, which was not even 24 hours, I knew it was something wrong. And so then I started researching. That's when it took me like 30 hours. So probably a total of 2 or 3 days.
So what was the letter? What contents were in the letter that made you concerned that Josh had wrote you?
Well, we had had a conversation on the phone, and then he wrote me that it was a CO that kind of was taunting him and had asked about if he wanted to check off. And at the time, I didn't really know what check off meant. I just thought, he was kind of, trying to intimidate my son or whatever. And I later learned that was go somewhere where you can be safe. And by that time, it was too late because my son had already been stabbed by 6 or 7 people, stabbed 7 times. His lung was punctured, and he lost a lot of blood. And there happened to be nobody near the booth that could see him run around the pod and then get cornered, and stabbed right in front of him with a lot of loss of blood.
So when you say nobody in the booth, you mean like no guards were in like a bubble, they consider it, where they can monitor and see what's going on with the incarcerated individuals?
Yes. If someone was there, they wasn't in sight of my son, and they could not see my son because my son was knocking on the window and banging on it, and no one came.
So when you finally found out what happened, tell me, I know, we both mothers, but just tell me, how did you feel at that moment?
Well, I felt sick. I felt lost. I was very upset because I knew my name was on the list of emergency contacts, the only name and number on the list of emergency contacts for my son, yet nobody let me know, and I had to search myself. So I kept leaving messages trying to find my son. After, I think it was 3 days or 4 days after he left surgery, I got in touch with a doctor in charge at a medical facility in Raleigh, North Carolina, at Central Prison. And he is the one who told me exactly what happened to my son. And even then, he tried to water it down. He had a few procedures. And I said, do you mean surgery, sir? Staples, stitches? Like, what are we talking? And he was like, yes.
So what were Josh's injuries that you were able to get? I guess you only got that information once you finally talked to Josh.
Well, I actually talked to the head of the hospital first before I was able to talk to my son. He told me that Josh had several wounds. After I started questioning, like, what do you mean by these terms? Because I wanted him to spell it out for me. He said he had been stabbed several times. He had stitches. His lung was punctured, which they still never kind of said those things. They kind of just glossed over it. Like, he had a lung laceration or whatever it was he said. And he did not say he had been medevaced to UNC Chapel Hill hospital. He just said he was transported to the hospital after surgery. He didn't say it was emergency surgery. He just said had surgery, and after the surgery, they transported him there, and he had been there for a few days. Because in the meantime, I was trying to talk to him. I kind of knew where he was at this point, but didn't know what was going on with him until I actually talked to the doctor. And he had like 6 or 7 stab wounds. Like I said, one punctured his lung, and he could not walk. He had a tube placed in his chest to keep the blood, I believe, off of his lungs. And so it was hard for him to talk. When I did talk to him, it was hard for him to talk, hard for him to breathe. But he was in good spirits.
Yeah, because I remember first talking to him, and his first thing was, they tried to take me out, but it didn't work.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. So it seems like you received a letter before this incident happened.
Yes.
And Josh said, and I think he also sent you a text message too, right?
Yes, on the tablet.
Saying that the guard, the guard said to him, what was the term again? You ready to check out?
Did he want to check off?
And what did you later find out that meant?
Do you want to leave the area or pod? So, Josh said no, and he also said something about A4, and I didn't know what A4 was, and I believe later on that was that you were going to get stabbed, like actually get stabbed. It's a charge, but I can't remember the details of the charge.
So the guard said to Josh this A4 word, and are you ready? You want to check out?
You check off.
Check off. So was he asking from your interpretation and Josh's, was he asking him, did he really want to leave the pod, or was he meaning you're going to be airlifted because you about to get hurt?
We figure he meant he was going to get hurt because of his tone and everything with Josh. Like I said, first I thought that it was, him just trying to intimidate Josh. But then once it happened, we was like, wait a minute, how did this officer know prior to that this was going to happen?
Sound like he requested it to be happen. In my opinion, that's what it looked like.
He had also asked my son about he had came into the pod and went in like the center of the pod and said he was there because my son, and he gave whatever number my son cell is, needed for them to do their job, and so he was going to sit in there for 3 minutes, I guess, to make the other inmates feel like my son was snitching. When it was really about my son's tray, because he has a vegan tray. He didn't get his peanut butter, which is his main course, and he was just asking about it, and he was like, well, I don't know nothing about it, I don't know what to do. And he was like, man, this your job, can you find out? And so he said, since number whoever is want us to do our job, we're gonna sit in here for 3 minutes.
What? Wow. So your son has been under investigation since this incident happened in June or July?
Not necessarily under investigation. They initially came in to investigate it, came to the prison, central prison where my son was recuperating at the hospital, and said he would be moved, and they were going to try to take care of him. They wanted to know his side of the story. They had all the guys' pictures when they came and their names, and then they wanted to also charge my son. And I thought that was unfair, but they kind of ruled him as ruled the incident as a gang incident, since the other guys is in the gang, and I guess they wanted to have my son as an affiliate, and maybe that's their way of getting out
of any liability.
Yeah.
So how
I couldn't understand why they would charge him with his own stabbing and charge him with the same thing as a stabbing.
Right, when several people, how many were? How many was it?
It was 6 or 7. I want to say it was 7.
So 7 guys on one person.
Yes.
And they all had shanks or knives or whatever. Wow. Yes. And he got stabbed 7 times?
At least 7, yes.
So he's been, ever since June or July, he's been, what do you call it? In solitary?
Yes, off and on. First they, brought him back, and I guess he had different counselors and things like that. And every time he asks about his food or something, they do something to him and put him back in solitary.
Okay, so now he was moved out of that prison where he got stabbed.
Yes, to Central Prison, and then right back to the same prison, to the same block.
Wow.
And those guys were, I guess, transferred out of that prison. I think one was released, and I don't know if they charged him after that, but they were moved from that block, and he was still in the block with the same officer. So then they moved him after he kept, getting in trouble or whatever. If he asked for anything, they don't want to give it to him. If he asks to file a grievance, they say, hey, the CO don't want us to give anybody grievance papers. They have shut his hand up in the chute. They don't care about his trays, and he feel like he's being poisoned. He's not getting his main protein. The milk may be spoiled or hot or whatever. And anytime he asks, can y'all fix it, it never gets done. They always have an excuse. So I got a letter actually today where he says he has lost 33 pounds.
That's not good. So they moved him back over in the prison with the same guard who, and I'm sure he reported what happened and what he said, and the fact that he reported it to you prior to this incident happened. So they put him right back with the same guard?
Yes. Not only with the same guard in the same pod, the guard is telling everybody this MFer is the one who said I said something to him or was involved, but he don't know that I have the information. And they will not pull the video or anything to let us look at it because we have asked. So the attorney that we hired, she looked at the video, and when she goes in to talk to Josh, she has to spend a lot of her visitation asking them to remove his handcuffs so that he can speak with her and look at what she's showing him. It's just a lot. They always have some type of retribution. They retaliate.
So when was the first time you got to see Josh after the incident happened?
Probably within 2 weeks or a month after it happened. I was able to see him, and they brought him in a wheelchair.
Oh, wow.
And he stayed in the wheelchair most of the time. He tried to move to the seat, but at Central Prison, the seats are like that heavy steel. And he was also stabbed like in his behind, so he couldn't really sit like that.
And how many times have you been able to see him since the incident? You seen him 2 weeks, 3 weeks later, then?
And then I think I was able to see him once a month or so after that. And then they transferred him back to the same prison. So since he's been back to the same prison, I think I've seen him 3 or maybe 4 times, and the last 2 times have been within the last month.
Okay. So he has an attorney, I assume a civil attorney.
Yes, that we may not be able to use because of the area that he is in versus what she is in. She's going to try to have to find somebody within that area who can assist her on this case.
Okay, so
most people just don't want to go against the prison system.
You know what? That's what I hear. I hear a lot of that. But this is undisputable negligence because it is their job to protect anyone who is housed at their facility. And they didn't do a good job when a young man is stabbed 7 times.
Not only that, Simone, multiple people have been stabbed. In April of that same year, this happened to my son, I think it was June, April, a prisoner there died. This is, from what I understand, for some officers that work in Fayetteville, this is the worst prison in North Carolina. I know it is the biggest one here because I've been trying to talk to the warden and the mail room about him not having his mail, his food, and different incidences, and they'll all let you know. So they just, I don't know, they got their own way of running the system.
Wow. So how is Josh doing today?
Josh is better as far as his injuries is concerned. Still trying to have a positive attitude. But it's disturbing when he writes, because he can't talk to me on the phone right now, and says, you know, he's not getting his trays. This officer is saying this to him. You know, they don't want him to do any grievances. It's just always something negative. So when you get to go see him, then that's the highlight. Or if they receive a letter from you, it's the highlight.
Right.
He did say that his case manager is recommending him to get off a lockdown. So hopefully by the end of this month, he'll be off a lockdown and I'll be able to talk to him. And I don't know if your listeners know, but once they are able to talk to you, they like bombard you with the phone calls, and it ties up a lot of your time. They need you to file this paper or look through their case for this information to help with whatever grievances or whatever lawsuits you can file, whatever appeal process. It ends up being so much of a burden to the family.
Yeah. You know, I know.
Yeah.
So I'm happy that Josh is doing fine. I'm happy that you'll finally be able to talk to him on the phone on a consistent basis. I know he'll be calling me because we got a lot of catching up to do.
Yeah.
And thank you for talking to us today. I really appreciate you sharing it. In the near future, we'll be able to talk more about Josh and his case and how much time he received and all that in the near future. We'll hear more about Josh, but for now, we just wanted to talk about this incident, since for the last few weeks we've been talking about prison and, you know, the guards and corruption and things of that sort that has been going on. So I just thought it was appropriate to hear Josh's story.
Yes, thank you for having us, and I hope your listeners will understand that the Bureau of Prisons and the CEOs will ask a person, did they do this? If you complain about a CEO, did they do it? And when they say no, that's it. The officer said no. He denied the allegations. That's as far as it goes.
That's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Well, you have a wonderful day, and thank you again.
You too. Thanks again, Simone. Take care.
All right. Well, this concludes our show for today. I'm your host, Simone Love, and I want to thank you all for tuning in. And if you have any questions or concerns or would like to get in touch with me, please send me an email to SimoneLovesHour@gmail.com. Again, SimoneLovesHour@gmail.com, or visit our website at www.lifeplusfive27years.com. We'll see you back here, same time, same place. Have a wonderful, wonderful week.